thing. My parents and I have a very weird relationship where we love each other a lot, but we fight a lot. Because here's the secret. I'm a Bengali girl, guys. And as a Bengali girl ना हम लोग अपनी मम्मी पापा से बिल्कुल नहीं डरते, फटती नहीं है हम लोग की आप लोगों की तरह, because ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या ही कर लेंगे वो, जायदाद तो है नहीं उनके पास. तो शुरू करते हैं. मेरा नाम अबीरा है. And unlike other comics, I love my name. आप लोगों को पसंद आया मेरा नाम? अच्छा है, right? तो फिर एक बात बताओ guys, अगर मेरा नाम अबीरा है और नाम अच्छा भी है, तो फिर मेरे सारे दोस्त मुझे कबीरा बोल के मेरे नाम पे हगीरा क्यों कर रहे हैं? But living with my name has got even more difficult ever since the beer brand Bira has come to the market. I will tell you, it's very complex nowadays because I'll tell you what happened. A few years back, I went to this house party and a very cute guy was there. And this is what he said. He said, "Hey, I want a Bira." So I did the most natural thing that came to me. I jumped into his lap. And I said, "Hey, I want you too." वो party छोड़ के भाग गया, guys. But ever since that day, I've got really sensitive about my name, okay? Every time anybody asks for a Bira, I get damn specific with them. I'm like, hey, what do you really want? What do you really want? Do you want Bira white? Or Bira brown? Do you want Bira blonde? Or Bira slightly graying? And I am slightly graying because I am in my 30s now, okay? And as a 30-something woman, I have come to that very magical age in my life when I can very confidently and very proudly say the things that I want to. Things like, I hate young women, guys. बर्दाश्त नहीं होता है मुझसे आजकल. You know, especially these 20-something girls who will put up photos of themselves on social media. And the caption is always something bitch-ass. Like daddy's little princess. Hashtag blessed. Once I put up a photo of myself on social media, my dad commented, "Daddy's big disappointment." Hashtag stand-up comedian. Yeah, my dad has zero faith in my stand-up career right now, okay? Before the pandemic, I did a corporate show. And 50 people came for that show. It's a good number, right? So I called up my dad to brag about it. I was like, "Dad, today 50 people came for my show. I am a star." And my dad said, "Do you mean full of gas and destroys everything that comes near it?" Because in that case, you are a star, honey. But that's the thing. My parents and I have a very weird relationship where we love each other a lot, but we fight a lot. Because here's the secret. I'm a Bengali girl, guys. And as a Bengali girl ना हम लोग अपनी मम्मी पापा से बिल्कुल नहीं डरते, फटती नहीं है हम लोग की आप लोगों की तरह, because ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या ही कर लेंगे वो, जायदाद तो है नहीं उनके पास. It's true. I'll give you a few examples of the kind of fights my parents and I have. Like for instance, my dad, he wants me to move back to Calcutta, and I kind of like living in Mumbai, okay? Now don't get me wrong, I love Kolkata. It's a great city. I mean, it's a good city. It's a very interesting city because it's probably the only city in the entire world where people are highly educated and still poor. I don't know how Bengalis are achieving this year after year. I really don't. You know how they say that money can't buy you happiness, right? Money can't buy you happiness. That's why Kolkata is called the city of joy. Nobody tells you that. I am telling you. But yeah, you can't say these things to Calcuttans or Bengalis. We get offended, right? And then we will say this thing to you, which you might have heard, that, you know what? Kolkata is not a city. It's an emotion. You have heard it, right? I hate it when people ascribe these vague philosophical phrases to random places, right? Like Calcutta is an emotion, Mumbai is a spirit. India is a democracy. I don't know what they mean. I really don't. Also, we as Bengalis are very proud, right? So if you tell us that, we are lagging behind, we'll be like, hey. We don't care about money or industry or development. We care about more important things like culture. We love our culture. हमारे पास रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर है, सुभाष चंद्र बोस है, सत्यजीत रे है. इनफैक्ट मुझे तो मुंबई आके पता चला कि ये सारे मर चुके हैं. Which means हमारे पास अभी सिर्फ ममता बनर्जी है. I love you, Didi. Please don't kill me. The second fight that my dad and I have is because my dad is obsessed with this thing called the Borolin. Has anybody used Borolin in their lives? You look like some. आपने तो green भी पहना है. See, Borolin is this antiseptic cream which a Bengali dad thinks is the answer to every disease in the world. Like my dad has not gone to a doctor in 10 years because he thinks that a Borolin can cure everything. Got a cut? Here's Borolin. Got a burn? Here is Borolin. Got a rash? Here is Borolin. Dying of Delta variant? Here is Borolin, guys. And I'm like, relax, dad. ये Borolin है. सोनू सूद नहीं है. It's not going to solve all your problems. You have to go to the doctor for that. Another thing is that I don't approve of my dad's dressing sense, okay? See, my dad is a very sweet Bengali guy, so he does not mind the clothes that I wear outside the house. But I mind the clothes that he wears inside the house. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Bengali dads have this thing in their wardrobe which is called the sleeveless banyan. And that thing has a neckline that plunges deeper than my sexiest clothes. कभी-कभी मैं तो खुद ही confused हो जाती हूँ कि इस घर का असली बेब है कौन? मैं या मेरे पापा? On the other hand, the fights that I have with my mom are slightly different. For instance, my mom is a very dramatic lady. Clearly, I got it from her. For the first 10 years of my life, all I heard my mom say was that मैंने तो कितनी बार बोला था इस घर में मेरी शादी मत करवाओ, मत करवाओ, मत करवाओ. On my 11th year, I found out that they had a love marriage. That was the first scam of my life. Also, my mom, she's a super religious lady. Anybody who has religious mothers? Whole of India, right? My mom is super religious. You know how fans of Justin Bieber are called believers and fans of Benedict Cumberbatch are called Cumber bitches. I call my mom Godzilla because she's a super fan of God. Recently, I got into a fight with my mom because she has used some of the gold that was supposed to be used for my wedding to frame the pictures of God in our house. So I was like, how can you do this, mom? I'm your only child. And she was like, hey, we don't know if you will ever find yourself a husband. At least we know for sure that God exists. For sure. Indian parents are a little weird that way, I feel. They will beat you up in the 5th standard for failing in science. And then they will keep on failing in science for the rest of their lives. That's what is happening at my place. But after that epic burn, I realized that baat to sahi hai, guys. I am in my 30s and I am not married. And I was a little sad. For 10 minutes. Because after that I realized that, you know what, the problem is not with me. And I've cracked it. And I'm going to tell you. Because ma'am, you are looking at me very suspiciously right now. I'm going to tell you. See, I've realized that as you grow older, it just gets harder for you to date people, like people, get along with them, even tolerate them. Have you noticed? And I wanted to find out why that was happening. So I did some research. And turns out there's actually a scientific reason for this. I don't know if you guys know this, but as you grow older, the human body, it starts to produce this hormone which was never there when you were young. It's called standards. It's a real problem of old age, huh? Do you know how many men I have rejected till date because they came to a date wearing Crocs? Half the male population of Bandra. It's horrible, okay? Ladies, I'm telling you, if you go on a date and a man comes to the date wearing Crocs, please know that he does not give a fuck about you or the date. That's why there are so many holes in a crock, so that the fucks can leave from a man's body. Just don't do it. As I said, that standard is a new problem for me. I did not have this disease when I was young. I did not. And as a result, I've dated the worst kind of people in my life. Like liars, cheaters, drug addicts, TCS employees. Absolute worst. But see, all these things didn't matter to me when I was young. All that mattered was that I had a boyfriend. And he was really in love with my best friend. Yeah, I got cheated on by my boyfriend. And people often ask me after this that, Abira, do you still believe in love? Do you still believe in love after you got cheated on? And I always told them, guys, that I do believe in love. Yes. I know for a fact that love exists, that it is beautiful, it's magical, it's powerful, because I've seen Amitabh Bachchan look at Rekha at award shows. That's the shit I want in my life. But yeah, getting cheated on is a very traumatic experience. Take it from me. And a few years back, I decided to confront my ex because I wanted some closure. It was a very emotional meeting for me. I got straight to the point. I was like, why did you do this to me? And this is the time when my ex, he told me something very beautiful. He was like, Abira, listen, even though our relationship broke down, you have to understand that you will always be very special to me. This relationship will be always valuable to me. I will always care for you. In fact, you are one of the top 10 women I have loved in my life. 10 women. Before that day, I used to think that I was in a relationship with him. After that day, I realized that I was in a harem with him. Do you guys know what a harem is? Yes. It's when a man has multiple wives. I call my ex harem code. He totally deserves it. But obviously, I was not buying any of that. I was like, hey, listen, just tell me the truth. Just accept that you cheated on me. And then he got defensive. He was like, hey, Abira, I did not cheat on you. Maybe there was an overlap. Overlap? That is the same as cheating. Just because you're a marketing manager does not mean that you will rebrand morality like this. As though I कुछ भी बोल सकती हूँ, guys, right? कि Hitler, he did not commit genocide. He ran a gas distribution agency. Poor guy, he was not a terrorist. He was just a field flight instructor. Don't say dumb shit like that to me. But, moving on, standards is a major problem for me right now. As a woman of standards, now I'm making a list of men I can and cannot date. The list of men I can date is very short, very simple. Because I'm a woman of very, very modest needs. It just says, is he Shah Rukh Khan? Mera pehla aur aakhri pyar. But on the other hand, the list of men I cannot date is long, very, very long. And I'll give you a few examples. First of all, I have decided that I will never date a Bengali guy. I'm a Bengali girl, I'm allowed to say it. I think Bengali men are lazy. They are so lazy that most of them stopped growing tall after 5'4". They were like, और नहीं बढ़ना. Life में या height में. They're so lazy that the idea of a physical exercise for them is debate. That's what they believe. In fact, I have realized if I ever meet a man, Bengali man, who is tall, who is ambitious, who is hardworking, who is powerful, I will know for a fact that Netaji is alive. और कोई हो ही नहीं सकता. The last standard I have now developed is that I will never date a man from a dating app anymore. Because here's the thing, I think dating apps don't work in India. Also, I think men lie a lot on these apps, right? On Tinder and Bumble and whatnot. The biggest lie that they say is that they are sapiosexual. Have you heard this term? Sapiosexual means when somebody is attracted to somebody's intelligence. Okay, they are turned on by intelligence. And I was like, bhai saab, if that was true, that would have had its own category on Pornhub. Bisexual, homosexual, sapiosexual. And what would that even look like? Girl with big brains reads newspaper in the bathtub. Or bold Indian bhabhi plays online chess with strangers. My personal favorite is teen nerd gets ready for her first group study, guys. Study. Also, I think that, essentially these dating apps are flawed because men and women are coming to these apps with completely different expectations. Like for most men, dating apps are hookup apps. For most women, dating apps are lookup apps. It's where we go to look up fresh disappointments and find new regrets in our lives. This is how the chronology of dating apps looks on my phone. I install Tinder, I'm like, yuck. Oh no, that's my ex. Uninstall Tinder. But yeah, the day I actually saw one of my exes on Tinder, that was a very sad day for me because I was in love with him at one point of time and I was crying, guys, at my home. And my dad saw me and he was like, why are you crying? I said, I saw one of my one of my exes on Tinder and he has moved on, so I'm a little sad. And then my dad said something really remarkable. He said, Abira, boyfriend gaya to kya hua? Main to abhi bhi zinda hu. I was like, Dad, that's a really sweet sentiment but also kind of creepy. But usse kya hua? I am sad. I am heartbroken. At that time, my dad took out a Borolin from his pocket and he said, "Ye laga lo beta, isse sab theek ho jayega."